Hello, welcome to Wednesday noon yoga. I know it's not Wednesday noon, at least not for me. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that a couple of props would be very handy in today's practice. One is a strap. Now you don't need a very long strap. It could just be 3.5 feet. It could be a belt, it could be a scarf, it can be anything. The second thing that would be handy is a block or 2 blocks, and I know not everybody has blocks at home. I just barely managed to get some myself. They're in short supply, I guess. We are going to use the block in supported back bend. So it needs to be firm enough that you'll stay up with your sacrum on it. If you took a yoga blanket or a kind of blanket and roll it up, or a couple of towels rolled up, and you don't really need it if you don't have access. So why don't you stop the video right now and get the props. Okay, let's start standing up. In Tadasana, mountain pose, this pose is simply Tadasana. It does not have the word Uttitha or extended in it, but I think it really feels like an extended pose from the base, which is your feet, all the way up through your body to the top of your head. Mountain pose, it's very stable. From there, we're going to move into upward salute, or Uttitha Hastasana. So start out by bringing your arms out straight in front of your shoulders. And then I want you to take them out of the shoulder joint so they're pulling forward, and then seat them back in like this. Do that a couple of times. So that is moving the head of the arm bone right into the shoulder socket. It's very stable, it's very good. And come back to Tadasana with these arms like this. We're gonna move very slowly into upward salute. Find your breath. Come up 3 or 4 inches, not very far, and see if your arms are still seated in the shoulder joint. Draw your lower ribs down, tailbone tucked a little bit, and then come up another couple of inches and breathe. There's going to be a sweet spot where you come up and then it's very difficult, or it could be a little difficult to stay seated in the head of the arm bone. So keep seeing if that works. It might be right here that's your position that you can work from. For some people with more open shoulders, it might be up here, but as you move up, be sure you're not bowing the lower ribs out. So here we are in Uttitha Hastasana. Big breath in. Exhale. Step your feet out a little bit wider. You're going to come into a side bend, keeping your arms where they are. Big breath in so you can get nice and tall. And then side bend over to the right. Notice your tendency not to have your shoulders, your arms seated in the shoulder joint, yeah. And then take your right hand and just let it nest down here. And breathe. What I'm looking for now, I don't know if Tom's got the camera on from my foot all the way up, but from that left ankle bone, outer ankle bone, all the way up to my fingers is one long Uttitha, one long extension. And then let your head go and breathe. If it feels better to have your chin pointing down, go ahead and do that. Next phase of the pose, bring the arm up, face the palm down, reach it out at an angle. And finding your breath again. Now we're looking for that extension between the ear and out through the fingers, and getting a nice opening of the neck. An extension of the neck. Wiggle that chin around a little bit and find a good place. Reaching through with your left fingers, but keeping your head and neck relaxed. Bring your torso up, and then assist your head coming up. And step back together for Tadasana, feet hip width apart, and breathe. Once again, coming slowly up into upward salute, checking how the arm is situated, the arm bone, bringing your lower ribs down, tailbone down, shoulders nice and broad. Step out again. Big breath in. Exhale, palm tree over to the right. So you're bending in the wind here. I'm trying to find a straight line from my right ankle all the way up. And then bring your left hand down, and we'll come more into the side bend. I like to bend my elbow here. It tends to open up those right ribs. Coming into your breath, wiggling your chin around till you find a nice opening of the neck, opening of the ribs. Coming to phase 2 of the pose, the arm comes up, reaches out. Not forcing anything, letting the head guide the opening of the neck. And then coming up the same way, using your hand to assist and come up. Yeah. Now walk your feet out wider. Turn your right foot straight out to the front of your mat. Tiptoe or bring the left toes in so you're pigeon-toed. And bend the right knee and come down. And what we're doing now is we're extending the left leg, so it'll be the inner leg and the outer leg coming right out of the hip. Inhale, come up, switch your feet around. Exhale, come down on the other side. Let's come up again, inhale. This time you can take one arm out, exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. We're warming up the hips a little bit, coming up. If you want to bring your fingertips down to the floor, go ahead and do that. Squatting down. And the other side. One more time to the right. And to the left. And now come down to seated for our centering finally. A little bit warmed up first. Sitting in Sukhasana, another pose that does not have the name Uttitha, but I can feel the extension from my bum where it's sitting on the floor all the way up through the top of my head. So how are you doing? There is a lot of adaptation right now with the pandemic going on, and some people have children at home more. Everything is turned topsy-turvy. I was listening to an interview on Fresh Air last week. Terry Gross was interviewing a woman who's written a book called Good Medicine. And at the very end of her talk, she gave some hints or some easy techniques to help people. She's a psychiatrist. Help people take care of their anxiety and do some self-care. So the breathing is something that I was really interested in hearing. If you breathe through your nose, that's the first thing. Breathing through your nose will help you de-stress. More refined is to breathe. The inhale is shorter than the exhale. So let's try that. Start with an exhalation through your nose. Excuse me, I'm going to start with a count and then breathing in and then add 4 numbers to going out. And you don't have to do that, but we'll do that now. So exhale. Inhale to 6, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then exhale for 10. Again, breathing in through your nostrils, breathing out. A little bit longer. Breathing in for 8. Breathing out for 12. And then come back to your regular breath. Close your eyes. Through the seated meditation, you're welcome to experiment with having the inhale shorter than the exhale, or you can just, it's your meditation, you can just breathe. Now blink your eyes open. I have one more technique. It's a word that I have never heard before, a verb, a gerund. It's called havening, and it comes from the root word of haven, or finding a refuge or a safe place. So cross your arms and touch the top of your arms here, and then just stroke down the arms to the elbow. And you can do this gently, or you can add a little oomph, whatever feels good to you. It's what mother rats do to their baby rats to calm them. They lick them. And then switch across, havening. You can do this to yourself, that works. You can also perform havening on another person, and that not only helps them, but just the act of caring for another person is good. And then release. And let's move into dolphin pose. So coming onto your elbows and your knees. You're going to need to walk your knees back a little more than you're accustomed to. Hold on to those arms that have just been havened. Get a good grip on them so you know where your elbows should be. And then interlace your hands, or bring your hands to parallel, and press down on your forearms. Feel that foundation. Let your head go. To find the Uttitha, or the extension in dolphin pose, I want you to take your seat or your bum back. Let your head go. Really reach it back. You might want to bring your knees back a little bit too, so you can get really extended through the torso here. And find your breath. Turn your toes under. Can you keep your chest in the same position as you lift your knees up, and maybe walk in a little bit for dolphin pose? In this pose, try that shorter in-breath, longer out-breath. Spread your fingers out wide, unless they're clasped for more support. Get your shoulders as far off the floor as you can, and reach your buns back. This is a nice extension from the elbows all the way up to the hips, and it's also an extension from the hips down to the heels. Now, walk your feet out until you're in dolphin plank. Check and see if your shoulders are right above your elbows for nice support of the rotator cuff. Draw your belly in, activate the front part of your body. And now bring your pelvis down. And as your stomach comes down, you're going to bring your chest forward. Shoulders away from the ears in pyramid pose, and breathe. And then come up to sit on your heels. I didn't realize that child's pose, which is balasana, has a longer name. It's Uttitha balasana. So we're going to try extended child's pose, or Uttitha balasana. Take your knees out wide, big toes touching. Try to keep your buns right down near your heels for this. Bring your fingers forward and just extend from the hip crease up through the head here, and start walking forward, getting longer and longer, remembering this is extended child's pose, Uttitha, until your head comes down to rest on the floor. And find some nice deep breaths in Uttitha balasana. You're welcome to experiment with that longer exhale. Stay right where you are, but lift your head up. And now use your hands gripping the mat to pull your body a little bit longer, keeping your hips back by your heels, and then come down again. And then walk yourself up for salutations. Coming up to the front of your mat. Standing in Tadasana, maybe we can use some of the extension even in our salutations a little more consciously than we usually do. So a nice tall Tadasana, palms together. Breathing in. 6, breathing out for 10. Breathing in, coming up into upward salute, as far as your arms want to go. Exhale to 10, coming all the way down to forward bend. Pick up your right foot, right knee down. This is a nice opening. It also involves upward salute. And then fingertips to the floor and step back to plank. A longer exhale. Drop your knees to the floor. Inhale, lengthening the torso. Exhale, long, slow exhale as you come down to bring your body to the ground. Elbows under your shoulders, palms nice and wide. Inhale, come into baby cobra pose and think of the extension of the front of the spine here, all the way from the pubic bone up to the chest bone. Exhale, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, left to down dog. Exhale, bring your right foot forward, left knee down. Oops, looks like I missed one. Coming up into Anjaneyasana. There we are, back to the in-breath. Place your palms. Exhale, step forward to down, forward bend. And coming up with a soft neck, all the way up to upward salute. And take a nice long exhale as you bring your palms back to the chest. Good. Let's do the other side. Arms overhead. Forward fold. Left knee back, Anjaneyasana. Plank. Knees down, breathe in. Extend the side body all the way down. Baby cobra, breathing in. Nice long exhale as you lift into downward facing dog. Left foot forward, right knee down, Anjaneyasana. Nice long exhale as you move forward into forward bend. Inhale, coming up through upward salute. And exhale. Release your arms, standing in Tadasana. Check in on yourself. If the breathing feels odd, that's okay. We always feel odd when we're getting used to something, and you don't need to do it all day. It's just a technique for calming these anxious times. Okay, base salutation, beginning with chair pose. Coming to the front of your mat. This is a very extended Utkatasana, but it doesn't have the word Uttitha in it. Okay, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, chair pose. Forward bend. Come halfway up, extend. Forward fold. Step one foot back and the other into plank pose. Exhale, coming down, knees first, or chaturanga, dandasana. Bring your palms to your sides. Inhale, come up into Salambasana, extending the front side of your body. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward, preparing for triangle pose. Come on up and just stand with your arms at your sides at first. Look down at your feet. Be sure the left foot is pointed straight out and the right foot is in. And you've got those extended legs. And then take both of your arms out and just extend in a star. Bring your arms down. Slowly inhale up into upward salute. And then come into a position where that right ankle bone is describing an area all the way up to your fingertips. And you can bring your left hand and push into the hip crease and accentuate. Yeah, you can let your head go. Now, before you move into triangle pose, bring your right hand back behind you. Maybe the back of your hand is resting on your waist. And open your heart to the sky. Let your head go. Activate and strengthen your legs. Have active feet. Get long and extended. This is Uttitha Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. And then if you're ready, you can bring this left hand down to wherever it goes now, and the right arm can float up. And here we are into this star we're making. Find all the places you're extending here. The legs, the torso, that bottom hand, stretching it all the way up to the front hand. And then I'm trying to extend the right side of my neck by letting my head go. With an inhalation, come on up and move right into Warrior Two. So the next pose is another Uttitha pose. It's Uttitha Konasana. So let's start again by coming up into upward salute. Now bring your left hand to your thigh and find that angle all the way shooting up from your heel all the way up there, as long as you can be. Nice and extended. Get a little bit, that left thigh a little bit lower. And you can come down onto the knee if you like. And here's the pose, extended side angle pose. Release out of the pose. Bring both hands to either side of the front foot. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. Locust pose, Salambasana. Keep looking down so the back of your neck can be nice and long in this pose. Keep breathing. Can you lift your thighs up a little bit? Can you bring your heart up? Replace your hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to just get myself turned around so I won't have my back to you. I think. Oh dear. Bring your right foot forward. Yeah. And come up into a triangle position with your feet. Turn that back foot in. No. Let's just turn it around. Let's have the left foot pointing straight to the left and the right foot turned in. There we go. Now breathe. Urdhva Astasana, upward salute. Straighten that front leg. Find your full extension here. And now we're working on this right side being all the way out and left hand in the crease. This is the other side, Tom? Or is it the same side?
Same.
What'd you say?
Same.
Whoop.
I think.
Change those feet around. Yeah, I shouldn't have turned around. Okay, here we are. So the right foot is out and the left foot is in. We've started this video 3 times already today because we had problems, so I don't want to start it again, so you'll just have to bear with me. Here we go. So finding that line from the back heel all the way out. Yeah, there we go. And then bring your right hand down to where it wants to be. It might be above your knee, it might be below your knee. You don't need to reach all the way to the floor because the important thing is to keep the extension of your torso here. And then to get the left shoulder over the right shoulder, bring the right hand behind you and open up the heart. Lean back. As though you have a wall behind you. Let your head go. And when and if you're ready, that left arm can come up. And finding Uttitha Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Coming up on out of that, coming into Warrior Two. Warrior Two has a little wider stance, so I inch my legs out away from each other. Bring your right hand to your thigh and bring the left arm up and see if you can extend that line from your leg all the way out. Yeah. And you can bring your elbow to rest. Nice strong leg in the back, a little bit lower with the right knee if that feels okay, the right thigh. And I notice my right shoulder is hunching up a little bit, so I'm drawing it away from the ear. And then bring your hands all the way over to your left foot and step back to plank. Chaturanga. Cobra pose or baby cobra. Big breath in. And then place your hands under your shoulders. Lift up in the downward dog. We'll stay here for a few breaths and feel the extension of this pose. Everything is extended here. Remember, just as in Urdhva Hastasana or upward salute, you're pulling your front ribs down toward your belly, lifting them up a little bit into your body. And then hop, step, or tiptoe up by your hands. Inhale, come up to half forward bend. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Breathe in, chair pose. And standing up to palms together in Tadasana. Horse stance. Find a wide angle for your feet, for your legs. Turn your toes out a little bit. Tuck your tailbone down. Get nice and tall. And then bend your knees outward and come straight down. Come down and up a few times, like you're riding a horse. So here we are in horse stance. Try curling that tailbone under a little bit, lengthening. Bring your arms out at waist height. Turn the palms up. Draw in. Inhale. Push out with a big blowout of your mouth. Inhale, draw in. Exhale. One more time, bringing in. And exhale. And then stand up. Find your strap and have your block or your support, your bolster nearby, because we're going to come down to the floor. I'm trying to keep today's class shorter. So when you're looking at the menu of classes, they're not all the same length. Okay. Feet on the floor. I'll move these out of the way. Lying down on your back. Draw your right knee up to your chest. We're going to really Uttitha in this one. So, situate the strap around the ball of your feet and then just pull that down, pull that leg down, get that hip to open up. And then straighten the leg, and it doesn't need to be all the way over your head or anything. You just want a nice extended straight leg. Now extend the left leg on the floor. Right and left hand holding right and left part of the strap. And don't try to hitch way up. Have it so your shoulder blades are on the floor, your shoulders are relaxed. We're just extending the legs here, and breathe. In the standing pose of this, there is the word Uttitha, Uttitha Asta Padangustasana, but this is just Supta Padangustasana, but we're still extending. Okay, hold onto the strap in your right hand and let your left hand come to the floor on the outside of you. Now we're just going to open the gate, nice and slowly, bringing that leg out, extending through both legs. You can come back to that longer exhale if you like, or you can just breathe your yogic breath. Take the straining out of this pose. This is the warm down pose, so maybe you'll let loose of the strap a little bit. Maybe you won't push so hard. With an inhalation, bring that leg straight up to the top again. Bend the knee and then straighten the leg again. Now, holding the strap in the left hand, right hand comes out to the floor. I'm not going to have room here. Now turn your body so that you're coming onto your left side if you like. Wow. And reaching out the extension. Your left foot isn't pointing up. It goes way out to the side. That's the only way the anatomy of this works. It's a twist. It's Uttitha, it's extended. Then with an inhalation, come up. Hold on to the strap with the right hand and draw the knee down into a half happy baby. Bring the other foot up so you've got happy baby. And switch the strap over to your left foot this time. Bring the right foot to the floor. So straighten and pull down. Get that left hip used to what's going on. And then if you like, skid the right heel out. And here you are. With extended legs. Moving to Supta Padangustasana B. That means that left leg is coming out. You can make it nice and slow. We've got lots of time. Out to the left. Slide your hand down that strap so that it feels good. Find a place where it feels good to you in this pose. Both legs are extended, both feet are active, shoulder blades calm and resting on the floor. Coming back up to Supta Padangustasana A with one hand holding one end of the strap and the other. Check that out, see how that's feeling now. Hold on with your right hand. Left hand comes out to the side. And now bringing that left leg over to the right side of your body. And if it feels good, you can come all the way over to the side. You can experiment and see what you like. Find that place that's resisting and sort of an obstacle of the pose and see if you can release that place a little bit. so that your entire body can enjoy the pose. I can feel a little bit in my left clavicle that's kind of interesting to me, like, oh, why isn't that the place I'm feeling? You might be feeling it in your left hip. Lots of places. Be curious about where you're feeling poses and what your body is trying to tell you. Always coming back to the breath. Now bring your left leg up, come into half happy baby, and let's be in full happy baby, rocking back and forth side to side. I want to show you something before we come into the last pose, so Tom's going to have to zoom in, but come on up to seated. I saw this when I was on the other side, and I want you to see it. I'll see if I can get it to be still. What's the name of this orchid, Tom?
It's a Phragmipedium.
Say again?
Phragmipedium.
Phragmipedium. Should I bring it closer to you?
I think that's probably good enough.
I wonder if it'll be clear. I'm going to disobey him and bring it up. Isn't that something? Is that good? Okay, good. Okay, we're ready for supported back bend. So, come on down to your backs. Feet on the floor, palms down, reaching toward your heels. Relax those shoulder blades. Press down with your feet. And I have my blocks ready at my side here. You might have a blanket or something like that. Curl your tailbone under with an inhalation. Come up into bridge pose. And savor bridge pose for a while. You might not be one who wants to come into supported bridge pose. The sacrum bone is that triangular bone that's below the waist. I don't want you to put your support under your waist in the lumbar area. I'd like you to find that bone right there. That's bone right above your tailbone, and rest on that. You can stay like this. You can lengthen your legs out. Relax your shoulders. Find a place that works for you. Some of you might want to raise your legs up in the air, whatever you like. And you're also welcome to come out of back bend and just maybe lie with your knees and your chest rolling around, whatever feels good. Practicing that breath. Opening up the front side of your body, the discs of the spine are opening in the front and closing together, closer together in the back. Relax your hands. Relax your jaw. To come out of the pose, bring your feet back to the floor, and then you can lift your heels up if you like, or you can just lift your hips up. Take the block away, or the blanket. Come down one section of your back at a time. Hug your knees to your chest, roll around in circles, relaxing that lumbar area of your spine. You can roll back and forth. Time for a Savasana. In the position you like, might be with your knees bent, your feet wide, and your knees resting against each other. Or you might like to lie on your back, whatever feels good. Find a position for Savasana and let go. We could easily add Savasana to the techniques of de-stressing and calming your anxiety. Take advantage of Savasana. Atavism by William Stafford. Sometimes in the open, you look up where birds go by, or just nothing, and wait. A dim feeling comes. You were like this once. There was air and quiet. It was by a lake, or maybe a river. You were alert as an otter and were suddenly born like the evening star into wide, still worlds. Like this one you have found again for a moment in the open. Something is being told in the woods. Aisles of shadow lead away, a branch waves. A pencil of sunlight slowly travels its path. A withheld presence almost speaks, but then retreats, rustles a patch of brush. You can feel the centuries ripple generations of wandering, discovering, being lost and found, eating, dying, being born. A walk through the forest strokes your fur, the fur you no longer have, and your gaze down a forest aisle is a strange, long plunge, dark eyes looking for home. For delicious minutes, you can feel your whiskers wider than your mind, a way out over everything. Begin to deepen your breath. Feel your whiskers and the fur you no longer have rustling in the breezes as you slowly come out of Savasana. Hug yourself, bring your knees up to your chest and give yourself a really good squeeze. And then release your arms, roll to one side, and come up with a relaxed neck to a seated pose. Bring your palms together. Thank you for staying in the class. I apologize for my mix-up. May you find peace. Namaste.